Hello all! Today, if you haven't seen from the thumbnail, title or guessed from this pile of paints I have in front of me, is another unboxing video. I had ordered some acrylics from Jackson's Art Supplies after doing some gouache painting and realising that I have a tendency to do impasto painting. Thus I went looking for some acrylics that would be useful for that style of art and purchased myself these studio paints from Pebeo. I also picked up a golden hand painted chant and then this box which contains Liquitex Basics acrylics in a starter box collection. I had chosen studio over professional colours because, at least initially, I feel like I'm going to be using a lot of paint while learning and experimenting, and I wanted something that would be good but wouldn't necessarily cost me a fortune. As we can see here, the Liquitex set comes in its own nice little box with a lid lock and carry handles. Inside it has 9 tubes of paint and a set of acrylic brushes, which we can see here once we take off the lid. The paints are placed in a modular holder and it's all nicely presented, as well as having the benefit of being able to be used as a storage or carry box once it's been opened. The paints are pretty firmly pressed in, and here I'm taking them out and looking them over. We've got a selection of what I consider essential colours, and all tubes have the colour name, pigment, transparency and lightfastness rating printed on them. All of the tubes in this set are 75ml. Here, now you can see me rechecking an earlier tube of white paint I'd picked up. I wasn't sure if I'd misread or not. Instead, this was me forgetting that the set comes with 2 tubes of titanium white paint. And then I pulled out a third tube. This is when I paused, rechecked the contents of the lid, only to see that this set was missing a tube of Mars Black. Somehow I'd gotten an extra tube of white instead, so as much as I would have continued on with this unboxing for the set, I instead emailed Jackson's to let them know and see what kind of resolution there'd be.
One week later.
I got my Mars Black! So I had a few options from Jackson's and I asked for them to send me a tube of the black paint that I was missing. They only stock the professional line as individual tubes, so in this instance, because of that situation, I got a small upgrade on the paint. This does give an opportunity to compare how the basics and professional both look and act once I actually get to painting with them. We have the professionals in an all white tube, we have the same name, pigment, transparency and lightfastness information, but we also have the added series or price. And now, the other items that were in the Liquitex box. We have a 6 brush set containing 1 of each round 1, round 4, flat 2, bright 3, bright 6 and fan 4 brushes. The back of the pack gives a little explanation of the different types. We also have a printed colour chart of the Liquitex Basics acrylic paints. There are 72 colours and each has information on the pigment, opacity and lightfastness along with their name. For the Pebeo paints, I decided to go for what I consider a standard set of 8. Vivid White, Payne's Grey, Primary Magenta, Primary Cyan, Primary Yellow, Cadmium Orange Hue, Burnt Sienna and Hooker's Green. You can see me picking up and looking over the various ones here, and as with the Liquitex paints, it has printed on the tube whether it's opaque or transparent, a lightfastness rating, the name and the number. We have here the Golden Acrylics painted chart. This comes pretty standard with the paint swatches, details of the paint, and a long table with the specifics of each paint. There is also a little blurb at the back explaining the lightfastness, opacity, and some specifics on what items such as GS, RS and BS mean in the context of these paints. And the final item is an A4 pad of paint-on paper, 30 sheets of 250 GSM or £150 paper in a natural shade. This is classed as mixed media paper, but for me I bought it to try out the acrylic paints. It has good size, nice weighting, and I can't wait to try it out. If you've got this far, let me know what you thought, and thanks for watching.